Hey guys, this is Kyle Skelly with Innovating the Outdoors, and we're going to go over our latest product here. This is the Lone Wolf Custom Gear stacking pins, and then included in that you have the option to purchase 1/8 inch rope mod or just buy the pins themselves. I do not have the 1/2 inch webbing strap. These pins will work with the 1/2 inch webbing strap. It'll go right to the edge of the pin. Yeah, so that will work with their 1/2 inch webbing strap. So what's all included? You're going to get basically a full set of stacking pins. And what that is 2 females and 2 males. As well, you're going to get 2 Phillips head screws. I'm just using a number 2 bit. That seems to run it in pretty good. Another item you may need for the installation is a 7/16 box end wrench. I'm able to grip these pins, but we did, when we designed these, put a flat on here so that you guys can get a wrench on them if you're having a hard time. And then, like I said, if you do choose the option to select the rope mod, you're going to get roughly, it comes out to about a 7-foot long rope mod, and it's designed to really nest nicely with the 17-inch compacts and as well the double step compacts. So this is actually a fresh stick. I'm a big compact fan myself, so I run 2 17-inch compacts with a cable weighter. I think these are just 17 inches, and that gets me to where I've killed all my deer in 2024 here. So we'll just start off. It's pretty cut and dry, guys. You're going to take a female and a male, and just as you would with the traditional grommets, you're going to put basically the females on one side and then the male ends will be sticking out on the other side. And then on your other stick on the other side, if you're just running 2, you would basically flip-flop that, right, so that your standoffs are facing towards the outside of the stand. So I'm just going to take my screws, drop them down in. This is all tapered in there, so that screw is going to basically go to its home position. And then just run them in. Just go slightly snug. I mean, once it starts to bottom out, just give it another half turn or so. You don't gonna get crazy. Please do not use an impact on these, guys. It more than likely will break just due to the pressure. So again, just run these right in, and that's really it. Took probably about 30 seconds. I guess we'll get a close-up of this as well, just to show you guys what we're doing here up close. And then the final thing, our rope mod, like I said, is designed to work really well with these buttons. These are the new machined-in buttons. They'll work well with the old school steel buttons. So you just take your rope mod, put it on, and then when I'm packaging these up, guys, what I like to do is, obviously you're going to get the lay flat feature here. I go towards the bottom of the stick, towards the cable weighter side. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to literally just loop, 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 loop. And that's it. So one issue I used to have with these sticks is something that we've basically solved. I really enjoy this rope mod. I find it just as easy as the cam buckle. I'm not really a weight savings guy. It does save weight, but just the overall cleanliness of it, it's just a lot cleaner than you would with like a cam buckle strap, or if you took the rope mod and went around the standoffs here. It gets really sloppy. And the good benefit of this is I can take another stick and nest it right in these pins. So they are a male female, so you can just take these and nest these. And if you stack too high, so 2 sticks high, you can still get them underneath the seat. When you go like 3 sticks high, you're going to start to run into interference on the seat because of how far the seat cuts over. Maybe on a 0.5 you might get away with it, but I know on a 7.5 and a 1.0 it will not work with 3 sticks high, but with 2 sticks high it will work. We'll go over how we are running the rope mods and how we tie them off. It's very, very important that you guys take precaution there. Again, when we leave the ground, make sure that we're tied in. I actually stopped using a linesman belt, and now I actually climb up with preferably not a tether, but at a minimum a tether, if not my rappel line. That way, if this cuts out, it doesn't matter. So if this stick slips out, whatever, something breaks, standoff breaks, whatever, anything can happen up there. I know that I'm safe, I can get to the ground. So always, always when we leave the ground, make sure that we're not just using linesman, but we're also using a tether. Another word of precaution, these Lomov custom gear sticks, they did chamfer all these edges, but I highly, highly recommend to at least throw a piece of tape, stealth tape, or a couple layers of hockey tape around the Versa button, the post of the Versa button where the rope mod's going to lay before you put your rope mod on. It's just going to add another layer of protection there, and just help with the length and the longevity of this rope mod. So yeah, guys, and as always, whenever you're using any kind of rope, cam strap, anything like that, be sure to inspect it every single time you use it. Like my process is, when I get home at night, I set all my gear down and I will check my cam buckle strap, and I will check the two ropes basically. So I have one cam buckle strap that I use for my stand, and then I have these two ropes, one on each of my sticks. I do a quick once over. It takes like 30 seconds to check it over and make sure everything's good, and then I know next time I go out there's no issues. So again, guys, we'll go over this a little bit more in depth on the tree and how we're tying it off, but that is an overall view of the stacking pins. So thank you, guys. All right, guys, we're going to go over the second part here, and that's how we're going to set the stick. So for me, I'm going to deploy my cable aider. I'm going to unhook my bungee and unravel my rope mod. And then what I like to do for me, after I deploy my standoffs, is I actually like to have the rope mod pulling off to the right hand side when I'm facing the tree. For me, that seems to work well. And what I do is, if it's on a larger tree, is I just take that rope mod on the top standoff and I just lay it over what would be the left side of the top standoff. And then I actually utilize my stick to bring that rope around and grab it. And then when I get my stick set up straight, all points of contact, I'm tied into the tree with my rappel line or my tether. I'm going to pass under the Versa button, back behind where the eye is on the other side, bring it up through, and this is going to be my first set. So you're going to do this is basically three sets. This is our first one. We set it, and all we're doing is pulling up and getting that rope behind the eyelet. Then I bring it back over top of the other side of the rope and down in between the V. And then this is my second set. I pull that tight. And then what I do is I take a little length of tag end, make a loop, and I come over, I fold the AM steel in half over, and then I reach up through, and what I'm creating is a little half hitch there. So I'll grab that, I'll pull that tight, and then it's very important that we set our sticks properly. So what I like to do is just pull out just a little bit on the bottom side of the stick with my top hand on top and set that. And then what I prefer to do when I take my first step on the stick, which would be on my cable aider, I like to take a step and give just, before I put my full weight on this stick, just give it a nice little set. And now this stick is super, super solid to the tree. Before I step on the stick, I like to make sure I just take a quick look down that I have 4 points of contact. So all 4 legs of the standoffs are touching the tree and maintaining contact on the tree. If they're not, I simply will just pull back up, reset my standoff a little bit, and then reset that stick again. And that's really it, guys. As I'm working through this, I will pull up some close-ups and you guys can see that, or we'll cut in a close-up here at the end. And then when I'm removing the stick, I have my tag in for my loop. All I do is just pull that. Just keep pulling it. It pulls that half hitch out. And now you just basically do the inverse of what you did earlier. You may have to lift up on the stick. I find if I lift up on the stick and get it out of its set position, it makes this all really, really easy. You can see I'm just easily taking this all apart, not fighting anything. And now I take my stick off, rotate my standoffs, take my rope mod starting at the bottom, on the bottom button. I go up, I go over, up, over, up, hook my bungee, take my cable weighter and fold that up. What I like to do with the cable waders is cross the opposite side over the button and then flip it over, and it almost like creates like a spring-like tension, I guess you could say. And then that holds the, well, usually does. There we go. And there it is right there. Just real nice, clean, streamlined. Like I said, we'll have some close-ups of how we're doing that rope mod on the tree. All right, guys, we'll give the close-up here. So what we like to do is, again, drape that over the top, standoff. Gives me, you know, an extra 17 inches of basically reach around the tree. Take my rope. I'm gonna go under the Versa button, behind my rope, the eyelet side, and I pull up tight. That's set one. Now, as I'm doing this, again, like right here, I only have 3 points of contact. So before I move any further, let me get my 4th point of contact, retighten the rope. I want my rope as horizontal as I can on the tree. So it's got to be, that rope's perpendicular, horizontal to the ground as it can be. Then I'm going to come up over the top of the Versa button, like this, and bring it back down over top the other side of the rope. And then I'm going to pull tight, set it underneath there. Then what I like to do is take about like 2-3 inches and create a V. So you can see the V right here. I bring the other tag in, I just loop this around my finger, bring it behind the rope. This is going to be the eyelet side, and in through that V, you're going to create basically a half hitch. Set that. Again, we confirm our 4 points of contact, 2 up top, 2 points of contact down below, lift the bottom just slightly, and set. Before we get too crazy and climb, I like to just take that first step and just give it one little push down, putting probably about 50 to 75% of my body weight. That sets this stick very nicely. And then all I do whenever I'm removing it is just pull on the tag end of the rope, the side that has the bungee. Pull on that. It easily undoes that half hitch, and then you just take your stick apart. So that's it for the rope mod installation on the tree. If you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. And again, make sure that we're always tethered into the tree on a rappel line or a tether at the bare minimum, alongside with a linesman belt for positioning.